Okay, welcome back. This is the video about body teachers. In other words, teachers who have a good awareness of their body and of cultivating your own physical health. So if you're naturally good at managing your own energy and also naturally physically healthy and strong, you're lucky. Many people and a large proportion of teachers feel swamped by their workload, and they tend to neglect their own need for rest and recuperation before, during, and after the workday. So as a body teacher, it may be hard for you to empathize, with physical or even emotional ups and downs in your students. So try to recognize that your students may be coming to class tired and hungry or stressed. They might be in poor physical condition and not functioning optimally in body and mind. Also try to notice when your students may be sad, mad, or depressed or anxious, which also affects behavior. So what can you do? Well, you can talk about self-care on a regular basis. Sometimes I just mention to my students, I might obviously not in front of the class, but I might say, hey, it's a good idea to wear deodorant. Depending on where your students are, kind of in that middle school range, they start to smell like little hamsters if they don't wear something. And so I'll mention that sometimes, or just general self-care. Number two, be a good model of self-care in the class so they can see a good model of that in an adult. And three is just be honest about your level of stress, energy, or health, because it encourages them to do the same. And last, I really like this one, is give students one tough day pass per semester that basically lets them take it easy that day in class. It can be really, really great that they know, even if they never use it, that they know that they can have that if they have a tough day. A few other points. Many schools are implementing some form of meditation or stress reduction training for students, which I think is amazing. And in developing countries, they've found that the best way to increase school attendance is to offer a free lunch, because often students don't attend school because they have to earn money for their family so that the family can eat or pay rent. And this may sound extreme in the US, but actually in my first teaching job in inner city LA, 90% of the students at my high school qualified for the federal free subsidized breakfast and lunch program. So it's not totally foreign to us. I also had a student who would constantly be sleeping in class, and this was a source of tension between us. And several years later, our paths crossed again, and this young woman told me that at that time, when she was in my class, she was staying up all night working as a prostitute on the streets to earn money for her family. So we never really know what they're going through. So having a teacher who is strong in body and self-care can be really eye-opening for students who come from homes where this skill is not a strength. Students might be subject to all forms of neglect, and seeing a high-functioning adult who is kind and alert to their needs might be a new experience. And we can really tremendously affect our students as role models in their choices for food, beverages, activity level, media consumption, sleep, positive mindset, and optimism about their futures and their ability to thrive and succeed. So make your strength as a body-conscious teacher and person a regular feature of your classroom. Okay, great. That's it for this video about body teachers. Thanks for joining me.